So today I'm going to be talking about Modern Warfare 3 and if it's actually worth its $70 price point and my thoughts on the open beta. I did manage to get to max level in the beta, and if you missed it, I streamed it over on my Twitch channel if you want to check that out and maybe drop a follow so you don't miss another stream. But I'm going to be going over some of the pros and cons of the game and then talking about my final opinion on the game at the very end. Starting off, I'm going to be going over the cons first, which are in no particular order, and I will say a lot of these cons could be fixed by the time the game actually launches, so I feel they aren't as detrimental as they were in MW2. But with that being said, let's go ahead and hop right into it. Starting off with the spawns. God, they are everywhere. They are a mess, but once again, it is one of those things that they probably will fix by the time launch actually comes around. But man, the spawns are just all over the place. I was spawning behind enemies, spawning in front of enemies, spawning with my team, spawning miles away from my team, spawning in the enemy team's territory. It was just all over the place, but once again, hopefully they will get that fixed out by the time the actual game comes rolling around. Another gripe I have with the game is the stupid bomb drone grenade. Who thought that this was a good idea? Who thought putting a hunter-killer drone as just a thing that you get on repeat throughout the game is a good idea? Holy f***, is it fucking annoying. Once again, it's not really that big of an issue, but I had to get it off my chest because holy f***, it's just annoying. I hate the grenade. Another thing that I'm not quite sure why it's even in the game in the first place is the tactical aim. Who the hell uses it? I never used it in the beta. The only times I did end up using it was when I was sliding and tried to aim down sights, but it ended up doing the stupid tactical nade thing, or tactical aim, and I fucking hated it. I didn't like it. I don't think it's really, like, it doesn't have a purpose. You know, it's kind of whatever. It's up to you if you want to make your opinion on that. I think it's completely worthless, but you know, maybe there will be a use for it in the future. I don't know. Another slight game glitch that will probably be fixed by the time the game actually launches is that the minimap has like a slight delay on it. And what I mean by this is that when red dots would pop up on your map, either from a UAV or from somebody shooting next to you, and you kill them, the red dot would either pop up again or just stay on the map even after you've killed someone. So in certain cases, it would cause you to do like a double take and look for people who are already dead, which would get you killed also in that manner. So I don't know, it's just kind of like a weird glitch I noticed, and I really wanted to bring it up because I don't really hear many people talking about it. Another big con for the game that I actually think is so stupid is unlocking certain attachments from other guns. Now what I mean by this is that they have a system in place that is kind of similar to MW2, where you would have to level up other guns in order to unlock attachments for the gun that you actually want to use and actually level up. So like, say there's a certain foregrip you want to use, you can't use it by leveling up the gun that you're already using. You got to go out of your way to change your gun, use a different gun, and level it up to that level, and then you can use it on your other gun. Some people like this. In my personal opinion, I think that it's kind of just an artificial way to create replayability within the game. I don't want to use the guns that I don't want to use. Don't force me to use the guns that I don't want to use. And ultimately, with my biggest criticism of the game, and I will die up on this hill, is that skill-based matchmaking is once again in the game. And I know for a fact that it's actually in the game because I tested it out. I will go ahead and die up on this hill. Skill-based matchmaking does not need to be in the public matches. If you want to add a skill-based matchmaking to the game, create a ranked mode that would be fun for players to play. That is where it belongs. That's where it should go. Now, enough with the negatives about the game. I'm going to be going ahead and jumping into the pros, and the very first pro I have for the game is the gunplay feels very smooth and much better than MW2. There's no fake recoil, and what I mean by that is in MW2, a lot of the times your gun would either just be jumping all over the place, or you know, the gun flashes are getting in your way, or the gun smoke is getting in your way, or there was just a lot of things in MW2 that would obscure your vision when you were in a gunfight. But in MW3, I'm happy to say that it doesn't really seem to be an issue anymore. Also, another pro is the classic minimap is finally back. And what I mean by that, if you are new to Call of Duty or something, which I don't think anybody who is playing this franchise is necessarily a new player, but red dots on the minimap when shooting with no suppressor, and that's just the way it should have been. Classic minimap is back. I don't know how else to put it other than that. Speaking of things that are back, moving on to my next point, is movement is back. You can slide cancel, jump shot, drop shot, jump shot to drop shot, etc. All you movement gods out there, I'm sure, are super excited. I'm not really that much of a movement god, so I can't really, you know, I can't really brag about anything like that, but it is back. It is in the game, and movement just feels a lot smoother, less clunky. Speaking of things that are back, the perk system is now back. In case you didn't know, in Modern Warfare 2, the perk system went under a little bit of a kind of a change. The way the games would start out was you'd start off with your first 2 perks that were in your perk 1 slot, and then as the game went on, you would level up your perks. As halfway through the game, you'd finally get your perk 2, and then towards the end of the game, you get your perk 3. And I really didn't like that system. I thought it was kind of stupid, because like, why else would you know, what's the point in putting perk 2 or perk 3 on? And I'm happy to say that perks have sort of gone back to the way they were. In conclusion though, while Modern Warfare 3 is definitely an improvement on the bizarre changes made in MW2, do I think it's worth its $70 price point? No. Now before you get your pitchforks and start going crazy at me in the comments, let me explain a little bit. $70 for what should have already been in MW2 is just crazy to me. All of these changes that they've made for this game just shouldn't have been an issue in the first place. Remember at the beginning of the year when Activision said that they were not going to be making a Call of Duty game for 2023? Well, here we are. It's 2023 and we have a brand new COD game. Kind of weird if you ask me. It sort of feels like MW3 only happened because of the huge decline of players after MW2 released, and basically weren't changing anything for the better of the game, which many YouTubers started to voice their concerns and stop playing, which caused a domino effect, and most of the player base for MW2 kind of fell off after the first like 3 to 4 weeks of the game being out. Along with that, I mean, me personally, I don't see a purpose in playing either campaign or zombies for that matter. Zombies just doesn't look that appealing in my eyes, as it's not round based, it doesn't have a map, it doesn't have an Easter egg. It's more like DMZ but with zombies instead of NPCs filling up the map. And campaign is just kind of meh for me. If I wanted to play the Modern Warfare campaigns, I'll just go back and play them on their original games, or even go back and play them on Modern Warfare Remastered and Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. And while the multiplayer is better than it was in MW2, it didn't wow me enough to justify spending $70 for it when I can play arguably better games for free, like CS2, like Valorant, XDefiant, and so many other games that I'm not even listing. So in my opinion, no, I do not think it's worth the money. However, if you are a COD player but didn't end up getting MW2 because of how much it changed, and you just only play Call of Duty or something like that, like it is your main game, it might be worth picking up for you. But even then, I would probably wait for it to go on sale, just because of the fact that it didn't change enough for me to justify its $70 price point. So yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and leave me some comments down below on what you thought of MW3's open beta. I'd love to read your guys' thoughts, whether or not you're going to buy the game, or maybe you're like me and it just didn't wow you enough to justify its $70 price point. But anyways guys, I've been Foamy, you guys have been awesome, and I'm out. Peace.